Whoa. I just hope that sometime in your life, somebody spends 5 minutes saying as much nice stuff about you as my good friend Ken Rosenthal just said about me. That was incredible, and especially coming from Ken, because he's one of the greatest baseball writers who ever lived. I need to say some more thank yous. Thank you to the NSMA, not just for this award, but for celebrating our profession. We love that. Thank you to Dave Gorin, who's the heart and soul of this organization. Thanks to all my friends at The Athletic, MLB Network, ESPN, the Philadelphia Inquirer, and the Providence Journal, not just for hiring me, but for allowing me to have so much fun doing this job. My current home, The Athletic, is a magical place. I just want to thank Alex Mather, Adam Hansman, Paul Fichtenbaum, and David Perpich for the magic. And I want to salute my two incredible editors, Emma Spann and Pete Swigert, for everything, for putting up with me. I know they're not here, but can I apologize again for all the hours of sleep I have cost them every October? It's been a lot. Congratulations to all the winners in this room. I remember what that meant to me the first time that I came here. It's a special night for everyone. Congratulations to the great Kevin Harlan. So cool to meet you finally. Tremendous. And congrats to Jeff Passan, fellow member of the Walk Out of the Press Box at 4 a.m. Club. Jeff and I have closed more press boxes than the custodial staff. we take our time, but it's always worth it, right, Jeff? Yes? Sure it is. And what a thrill to go into this Hall of Fame with Andrea Kramer, one of the giants of her profession, and someone I'm sure, just like me, drew on those Philly soft pretzels for childhood inspiration. Am I right, Andrea? So honored to go in with Joe Buck and Tim McCarver, two guys I've known for so long, two legends. So proud to call both of them friends. Joe, the voice of sports. Nobody ever has done it better. It's just a thrill to go in with you. Tim McCarver was the first player I ever interviewed in a Phillies clubhouse. What a special man, and we miss him every day. And finally, if somebody had told me when I first read Boys of Summer that I would go into any Hall of Fame with Roger Kahn, I'd have passed out. So this is incredible to me and surreal. One of the highlights of my life is to share this induction with all of you. But I honestly don't know if this honor could possibly have meant more to anyone ever than it means to me, because all I ever wanted to do, pretty much my whole life, was to be one of you, a sports writer. Let me tell you a story. On the wall of my office, there's a framed photo of me and my sister Karen walking home from school. I was in 5th grade, she was in 4th grade. I knew she was pretty excited that we both made it through another grueling day of elementary school. But what I didn't know was, even back then, she regarded me, her 10-year-old brother, as the single most knowledgeable person in America about what else? Baseball. And the reason I found that out was that she wrote a composition about me in the 4th grade. And here's one of the lines in that composition. If you wanted to know a lot about baseball, my brother would be able to tell you. Okay, so she wrote a whole composition about her big brother, the baseball nut. It was surreal enough to me that she wrote it. What was more surreal was that she kept it. And again, we do that in my family. Am I right, Lisa? We keep way too much stuff. But I'm glad that she kept that, because many years later, she framed that photo and that eloquent composition, and she gave it to me. And so now, when I read her words, I think to myself, oh my God, how could my sister have seen my whole life coming when I was in 5th grade? I guess the answer is I wasn't really that hard to read, because this whole thing, this career I've had, this great life I've led, it was my dream from the time I was 10. And like, who gets to spend their life doing that thing they always dreamed about doing from the time they were old enough to dream about doing anything? It happens in Hollywood maybe, but it happened to me in my actual life. And I never cease to remind myself how lucky that I am. See, as I was growing up, I didn't want to play center field for the Phillies. I wanted to cover the Phillies. And I wasn't just a huge fan of sports, I was a huge fan of sports writers. I was that kid who went to games with my binoculars, but not to point them at the field. I was there to point them at the press box so I could figure out what everybody was doing up there. Because whatever the heck that was, that's what I wanted to do. See, my mom, June Stark, was a fantastic writer. So even when I was a kid, she infused me with the love of writing. She loved words, and she read every word of the newspaper every day. She read all the great sports writers of Philadelphia, and because she did that, I did that, and I thank her every day. I grew up making it a point to read the best sports writers in America. They were my heroes. So when I started looking at the list of all the incredible people who preceded us into this Hall of Fame, I realized something. I honestly wouldn't be here if it weren't for so many of those people, because they left such a powerful mark on me. One of them, the great Bob Ryan, is here tonight. Bob is a genius, and I learned more from reading him and watching him do his job than he will ever know. But I also know how much all of the legends in this Hall of Fame inspired me. So nothing means more to me than when writers now tell me that I somehow influenced them to think about baseball in a different way, and to write about the part of baseball that attracted us to it in the first place, which was the fun. Jeff alluded to this, Ken alluded to this. I don't know how I came to be that guy who America turns to every time a backup catcher goes to the mound, or when Benji Molina hits a homer but somehow manages to not score a run after his own home run. But America knows I'm the guy to look into all of that. I don't know why I became that knucklehead whose phone starts rattling when I'm on vacation in Italy because Ranger Suarez just beat the Rangers. But that happened. It's a crazy niche, but somebody has to have it. And it's made doing this such a blast. So when Sammy Sosa hits a home run and it leaves Wrigley Field and it crashes through the apartment window across the street, somebody has to spend the next 3 days finding the guy who lives in that apartment. So yeah, I did that. And it turned out to be this guy from France named Philippe Guichot. So he had no idea what this baseball was doing in his living room. I said to him, Philippe, you didn't notice there was a big field across the street? He said, I knew that the apartment was near a field. I just did not know that baseballs would go out of the field. Well, yeah, they do. So because of stories like this, I've spent 4 decades having the most fun that any baseball writer could have. But I couldn't do that if I didn't have the coolest, most baseball-loving family of any baseball writer that I know. My two beautiful daughters, Jessica and Hallie, are here tonight. They're both so smart, so creative, so special. They think they're the president of my fan club, but in truth, I'm the president of theirs. My son Steven couldn't make it here tonight, unfortunately, from Colorado because he leads a crazy life working on camera crews at sporting events. But because of sports, one of the highlights of my career is I've gotten to work with all three of my kids, including both of my girls. I told Ken Griffey, you might have homered in the same inning as your father, but you did not get to work with your daughters. I did that, and I am so grateful. But the real Hall of Famer in my family isn't standing up here. It's my amazing wife, Lisa. She's making her triumphant return to Greensboro, by the way. And when she lived here, I routed more flights through this town than any baseball writer in history. But I'm so glad that I did. You know, it isn't easy to be the wife of a baseball writer, but you would never know it if you spent 2 minutes with Lisa. She loves baseball, and she still thinks that time that she got mentioned in a Peter Gammon's notes column was the finest moment of her life. But the finest moment of my life was the day I married her. So Lisa, thank you for always being there to inspire me and to support this beautiful, nutty life of ours. I love you more than words can express. I will never, I'll remember this night forever because I got to share it with so many people I love. And I'll cherish this night, I'll cherish this award forever because it was voted on by you, people who do what I do. Nothing means more to me than that. So thank you. We are so lucky to do what we do, so never stop dreaming.